Today, we're going to be picking up from where we left off on the last analysis that I did 6 days ago on USDJPY. Some of the moves didn't exactly pan out how I wanted it to, but the general gist is kind of there, right? So, before I get into it, I will ask a simple question. Well, simple request actually, which is make sure that you hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification, and drop us a like. Why? Because we're working together to get to the bag. Now, in saying that, I will say this: I am not a what's the word I'm looking for? I am not a financial advisor, so I'm not going to turn around and say to you that I've mastered this whole thing. But I do have a relatively good idea as to what it is that I'm doing, and that's what I'm bringing to the table to assist with all the new traders coming out, as well as the existing traders that are coming out, right? Because we're on different levels here. Just to brainstorm some of the ideas that I've got. I'm putting it out there for you guys to watch, and in hopes that obviously at some point you might obviously drop some of your gems in the comment section and we can review it so we can get better together. That's the plan anyways, right? So with that said and done, like I said earlier, the subscribe button, the notification, and drop us a like, do all three. We're going to get into the analysis for today, right? So the last video that I did, which was about 6 days ago, we was in this area right here. We was in this area right here, roundabouts in this area right here, right? And I talked about price going above this level. Okay. Now in seeing that, okay, what could have happened in that moment is you could have joined it, because this is a 1 hour candle blasting through it. So it's quite a powerful move to the upside, right? And what essentially took place was it then blasted all the way back down again, back down to the bottom of the low side of the high value area, which is this area over here. Okay, based on the last couple weeks of talking about volume profile, I would have liked to hope that you would have identified this area correctly, all right, by placing the volume profile on your own charts. And right now you should be up here somewhere, right? Because these things do certain things that obviously it can be a little bit annoying when it does it, but so long as you're prepared and you understand what I've been pointing out to you, especially in regards to the low value node areas, right, that would help you navigate this stuff a lot better. So for example, price did the rejection at this level right here. Okay, so for some that would have been a surprise, but you have to bear in mind that my analysis style, how I like to show the content on this channel, is I will point out everything that you need to know, right? But I also leave things out because I want you to come to the conclusion yourself and see this style work for you, because that's the only way you're going to hit that eureka moment, and that's the only way you're going to be like, I can make it happen. So why did it reject from this area, right? Now, some of you should already see why there was a high probability it was going to reject from this area, and why it did reject from this area. Okay, so if you don't know, I'm going to point it out for you. Reason why price rejected from this area is simple. There was a low value node right here. That's why price rejected from that level, right? Because even though we're looking at, so let me just minimize this, even though we're looking at the volume profile as a whole, right? So this is the high value area of the volume profile as a whole, right? We have to bear in mind all the other situations in there that could stop the move from going all the way up, right? Now, going off what we can see right now in terms of where price is, we can kind of see that it actually wants to get back up to the top side of the high value area. It wants to get there, right? Why? Because it's rejecting of this level. It's rejecting off this level, and it can do that forever. So it can just go up, come back down, go up, come back down, go up, come back down, and eventually it has a decision to make, and that decision is either it's going to break all the way down or it's going to push all the way back up again. But however, whenever you see it bounce from these levels, okay, you have to be comfortable with a push to the upside. You have to be comfortable that that is the move that has the highest probability of actually coming into view. And it can be a little bit uncomfortable. It can be a little bit uncomfortable. So this is why I always say, well, I don't think I've mentioned it, but I will mention it now, that you backtest this concept of using volume profiles, right? I recommend use a backtest to see how this stuff actually works. So now that we've got in our first like headache out the way, okay, we're going to adjust these volume profiles properly. We're going to make everything properly, right? Because we've hit our first little snag of the volume profile. And from this point onwards, we can now basically be like, okay, we're going to try and make it a little bit more on point, but then I'm going to reduce some of the talking points as well. So hence why everything is kind of like in the playlist now. So if you're not unsure, go through it and you should be able to watch all the videos on cryptocurrencies, all the videos on the indices, which is mainly NAS 100, because we're not really talking about anything else. And you can look at all of the technicals for gold and oil, right? The commodity side of things, you can go and look at that as well. But what it is that you will notice is that once you apply the volume profile, is that it just helps you so much in getting things done. So as it stands right now, as we're looking at this, right, we can see that price is now back in the volume profile. It's now back in the low value node of the volume profile. Let me make this a little bit more accurate. Let me just make this a little bit more accurate. And let's just call it from within here to say here. All right, so price is now inside of the volume profile now as we speak, right? So this is where we can do a little bit of work to see what we can do and how we should do it, right? So as soon as price closes below the volume profile, right? So let me get rid of these for now because we no longer need those. Let me get rid of all of these for now. Whoops, I didn't want to do that. Let's get rid of this and let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of these levels for now. Okay. Right. Everything that's on here is what we want. Everything that's on here is what we want. Now, one of the things that I would strongly recommend when you're adding volume profiles onto your chart is try not to do it like how I've laid everything out on the chart. I've laid everything out on the chart in a way to show you the value of using the volume profile, but try not to place it on the chart like how you're watching it right now. Reason why I say that is this is just for you, but this is not how I would expect you to have it set up. So how I would expect you to have it set up is simply like this, right? We know where the volume profiles are, right? So long as we don't mess around with this stuff over here, which is the volume profile, right? We don't really move about with it once we set it up. You just kind of keep it there. So my recommendation is once you have the volume profile in place, right? Let's see where we derived this from, because I think it goes all the way back. Let's go to the 4 hour. Okay, so we derived it from this high over here. This is where the volume profile starts, okay? You go in here and then you lock it, right? We're not going to do that now, but you lock it just like this. You lock it in place, right? But we're not going to do that because I do play around with this a fair bit. But that's what you should do. A, you need to lock it. Second is you only want to have 3 zones of the volume profile on your chart at any given moment based on where price is, right? So we can say we want to tap in from here. So let me just have a look. Let's just have a look. We can say we want to tap in from here. Actually, let's just bring this into this one right here. Yeah, let's keep it like that. So we can say we want this one where price is leaving, where price is left, where price is going into this one right now, okay? And that's basically it. So we want one at the top where it could go, one where it is right now, okay? And then we want another below it. So it's kind of like a sandwich, right? So if you don't know what a sandwich is, depending on where you are in the world, that's with bread with fillings in the middle. I don't know, it could be chicken, it could be ham, it could be whatever, right? In the middle of that, right? Or it could just be butter, right? Depending on where you are. And then another bread on top, right? So the filling, so this is the filling, bread number one, bread number two, right? A sandwich. And do you know why I mentioned the sandwich? Because that's what I'm thinking about right now. I'm thinking about a cheese and ham sandwich right now as I'm doing this. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm thinking about that right now. So after this video, that's what I'm going to do. So we have these levels mapped out, right? So now we know if price breaks above these levels right here, right? If price breaks above these levels right here. So this is the zone that we want to be mindful of right now. Okay, these are the zones that you want to be mindful of right now. If we get action below or above it, this is how we play the game. Let me go back to the hour actually. Okay, much better. Okay, so we know if we get a close above 144.731, okay, we're looking for buys. And if we get a close below 144.086, we're looking for sales, right? And then we need to work out how much money is in there for us. So all the way down to the bottom, we are looking at 82 pips, right? Which is not bad. 182 pips to the downside, right? And then to the upside, we are looking at 138 pips, right? So we know we worked out how much we're going to make, right? And we worked out what we need to do. So we can actually go into this with some level of tactical, strategic planning rather than hoping that something is going to take place. This is how I normally do it, right? This is how I normally do it. I know I don't talk about it because, like I said, I'm expecting you guys to do the work because it's just not fair. Because even if somebody gives you all of the answers, if you didn't work it out yourself, chances are it's not going to stay with you, right? Give it a week, 2 weeks, and all of that is all gone. It's all gone, right? So I would rather not do it that way. In all fairness, I would rather, what's the word I'm looking for? I would rather I kind of helped you get to the answers and then you figure it out yourself. And then that way you feel some sense of accomplishment by working something out yourself. And in saying that, I'm not saying that I have it figured out and I'm not saying that I'm better than you. I'm just saying that's how I learned how to do this, and how I learned how to do this because I know it worked for me. That's the only way I can share that information with you based on the fact that it worked on me. So I'm not saying that it should work on you, but some of you it would work on, right? Because we're not all so different. We're relatively quite similar, regardless of where you're from or whatever. We're relatively very, very, very similar, right? So that's the move. As it stands right now, that is the move. As it stands right now, I couldn't tell you to put in longs and I couldn't tell you to put in shorts. What we are going to do is we're going to wait for these conditions to be met. And that is, it closes below here, we sell. It closes above here, we buy. This is the profit potential up here. This is the profit potential down here. Okay. And in saying that, I'm not a financial advisor giving you financial advice. I'm just a normal person, just like you, that has a passion for the markets. And my passion is so strong, I've decided to share all of that with you a few years ago, and I haven't been able to stop since I started. So it just shows that my path is relatively solid in what it is that I'm doing. So with that said and done, right, once again, I've assisted in the process in helping to get you to the bag. At the bare minimum, if you've watched up to now, at the bare minimum, again, you do owe me a subscribe. And you do need to hit the like button, and you do need to just drop us a notification. Most of you don't hit the like button, and most of you aren't hitting the subscribe button, but I can see you are watching, right? So just do that, right? Because me doing this stuff is not easy, and bearing in mind, regardless of how you feel or where you are in the stage of your current development, the aim of these videos is here to assist you to make you a better trader. So with all of that said and done, I will see you all on the next one.